Metabo HPT has a new compact slash mid-torque half-inch drive impact wrench out that is 18 volt. Of course, it'll also take the multi-volt 36 volt batteries if you'd like to. It's just going to increase the runtime. This is a cool unit that's IP56 rated, so that means it's going to be dust and water resistant. I also like how Metabo HPT is getting the vibrations away from your hand and also the battery. You can see we can very easily move the top of this so the vibrations stay up top and they don't transfer down the handle to your hand or to the battery. You have a tether on the back, a belt clip on the side, and 2.9 pounds. Very small and easy to hold on to. Great tool for using all the time, like all day or even over your head. While using this tool to rotate tires on my truck, it gave me the feel of an impact driver more than some of the more powerful impact wrenches. So I went to the website and I wanted to look at the specs. Now on the website, the specs say max tightening of 225 foot-pounds, which is a contradiction from the box, which tells us 255 foot-pounds. So I'm assuming that the website has a typo. On the website, again, we have a nut-busting torque of 443 foot-pounds. So that's going to take off any decent lug nut, or it's going to work in a lot of different places. But again, that's going to depend on the size of the bolt, the amount of rust, and anything else, because obviously these are not rated in the wild. This is in a lab environment. Here's where things I think get a little bit different. No load RPM of 2,800 and impacts per minute of 4,000. So I just wanted to compare that to the M18 compact Milwaukee, which has 250 foot-pounds of nut-busting torque, 2,400 RPMs, 3,500 IPM. So that's up there. The Milwaukee M18 mid-torque, 650 foot-pounds nut-busting, 2,575 RPM, 3,100 IPM. And then if I compare this to a Milwaukee M18 impact driver, totally different rating of 200 inch-pounds, which we can convert to foot-pounds, but we don't know if it's removing or fastening. 3,900 RPM, 4,400 IPM. So the IPM of this tool is definitely closer to what you would see on an impact driver, and it gives a different feel. And it's really weird, I guess, when you're using it with lug nuts. Not that it's bad, it's just a totally different feel than you would expect, especially when you compare this to some of the very large high torque ones, which have a really hard-hitting lower IPM and a decent RPM. It's because they're really pushing and trying to get that torque into the fastener. So it's a different feel. It is not bad, it's not something I'd say that's good either. It's right in between. It's just a different feel of a faster, lighter hitting impact wrench. So on the bottom of this tool, we have 4 different levels of tightening, or RPM and IPM. So you have them labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. Basically on level 2, I found that this is perfect for installing lug nuts. It'll take them up to about 100 foot-pounds on the truck. Now you also have another auto stop mode, which is auto stop and also auto slow for removing, and let me show you what that is. So the auto mode in here is neat because it works differently based on whatever level that you have the impact wrench on. So here we just have nut that's sitting on here very loose. We're going to tighten this guy down, and it's in level 2 on the auto mode. It just gives it a little bit of tight. It is a little bit more than hand tight for sure. Now if we go to remove this, brings it up, stops, and then gets you to the point where you're not just going to fling this nut off, which I think is pretty sweet. Now if we move this up to level 4, we get a little bit different. So it tightens it up really well. And then if we're going to loosen it, it's pretty much the same, maybe just slightly faster, but not much. So you can tighten in the auto stop mode more with the higher level, and I think that's pretty cool. The size of this tool is pretty small, 2.9 pounds. It's a big difference between the normal Metabo HPT half-inch impact wrench, although the height is somewhat coming from the battery. If we compare this to Milwaukee's compact is less powerful and smaller. Not by a ton, but it definitely is. Now if we compare this to the mid-torque, this is a 3/8 impact or 3/8 drive mid-torque from Milwaukee. It's larger, not by much, much more powerful. Of course, it's going to have a 5 amp hour battery on it at a minimum to do so, and it's just got a smaller battery on it at this point in time. So it's sized right in between the compact and the mid-torque, which it's also just as powerful, kind of right in between the compact and the mid-torque. So if you're in the Metabo HPT line and you're looking for a small, lightweight impact wrench that can do smaller jobs, it's a great tool. I think what threw me is the impacts per minute at 4,000. It gave me an impact driver-like feel, and it didn't give me the same ability to know how tight that fastener was based on how long it was impacting. Those smaller, faster impacts just felt different. It didn't take long for me to get used to it. It was just a difference of what I felt, and I want to get that point across to you guys to say, hey, when you pick this up and use it, it's going to be slightly different than what you're used to. Still works great. It's not better. It's not worse. Still does the same job. Just feels different than what you might be used to, especially if you've been using high torque impact wrenches and you come down to this guy. It really feels different. So there's just a feeling there that is a little bit separate. Other than that, the LED light is on the bottom. It didn't give me a complete view of what I was doing. It would be nice if it was all the way around this front. But either way, it worked well. It's a nice, small, affordable tool that you can get bare tool or with the kit, and it's comfortable. So if you're in the market and looking, I think that's a great option for you. As always, I'm interested in your comments below. What do you think about the higher impacts per minute? What do you think about the RPM? What do you think about the size, where it fits in? Always interested in what you guys have to say. I'll come out with some more shorter videos on this. Make sure you check out our shorts. I appreciate your time, guys. Give us a like in this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks again. Have a great day.